is there a cavity inside the Pyramid of Khafre? Okay, is there like a hidden chamber? In the 1960s, there was a guy, Luis Alvarez. He was a Nobel laureate. He was actually played by Alex Wolff in the Oppenheimer movie.
Right.
He was a PhD student of Lawrence, who was making the first cyclotron in Berkeley. And he was a great experimental physicist, okay? And he started realizing that what you could do is you could use a muon the same way that we use X-rays in medical imaging, okay? The principle of X-rays in medical imaging is you have an X-ray source, you have a detector on the back, right? And then the X-ray is gonna penetrate through soft tissue because there's not a lot of stuff that's like there. But the denser stuff, like your bone, it's not gonna be able to penetrate, and that's gonna create a shadow. The same principle we can use now for very, very large things, because the muon is kind of like an X-ray in that the path that it takes, how far it gets through something, is dependent on the density of the stuff that it's going through. Because it's this massive cousin to the electron, it doesn't actually interact that much with matter, okay? So now you can start imaging things like buildings. In the 1960s, he imaged the Pyramid of Khafre in Giza, which is the second pyramid. Okay, there's 3 big pyramids in Giza. The second pyramid, the one that still has its cap on, that's the one that he imaged. He actually took a muon detector to the inside of that pyramid, put it there for like about 2 years, and you know, the flux from these cosmic rays are really, really small. So you got to wait a really long time to get a nice statistical signal.
Right.
And the question he was trying to answer was, is there a cavity inside the Pyramid of Khafre? We're always worried about
all the secrets.
Yeah, it was a negative result actually,
Okay.
because he didn't find any hidden chambers. But that sort of started this idea of Muon Tomography. It's kind of like a CAT scan, where what you can do is take a scan with muons in this direction, and then a scan with muons in this direction, in all these different directions, map out the shadows, and then from that reconstruct the physical 3D. And actually in modern times, there's been a renaissance. There's been this program called the Scan Pyramids. In 2015, they actually used it to map out the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is the Pyramid of Khufu. That's the biggest of the 3. And they actually did find a void there. They found a previously unknown void. It was at least 30 meters long above the Grand Gallery. And there you see the muons are coming in from cosmic rays. And you can map out how many muons came in from each direction. And you can say, oh, actually more muons came in from this middle part of the pyramid than from the outside, which means that middle part of the pyramid must have some kind of cavity or hole where the muons had no problem getting through. So it's like there's a hole.
Yes.
There's a hole in there. And they actually found it.